In the shifting strategic landscape of East Asia, a new undercurrent is beginning to reshape military calculations from Beijing to Washington. South Korea, long reliant on diesel-electric submarines for maritime defense, is accelerating its pursuit of nuclear-powered submarines, an ambition it has held for decades but was unable to realize due to US resistance. That barrier has now eroded. With President Donald Trump again signaling approval for Seoul to access nuclear fuel under a bilateral nuclear cooperation framework, a development once considered politically impossible is rapidly turning into a tangible military project. This change marks a pivotal moment that could ignite a far-reaching underwater arms race in one of the world's most militarized regions. South Korea has argued for years that nuclear propulsion is essential to counter North Korea's expanding underwater threat. Pyongyang has been developing submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, as demonstrated in a series of tests since 2016, and claims to be working on nuclear-powered platforms of its own. North Korean state media even showcased its leader inspecting what it described as a nuclear-powered submarine earlier this year. Analysts remain uncertain about how advanced Pyongyang's program truly is, though many believe that Russia may be quietly supporting North Korea's naval modernization as part of a growing defense partnership between the two countries. South Korea's military leadership has acknowledged that it is closely tracking such potential cooperation, reflecting deep regional unease. The endorsement from Washington drastically shifts what had been a stagnant debate. For decades, the United States rejected the idea of supporting South Korean nuclear propulsion on the grounds of proliferation and regional destabilization. Under the Non-Proliferation Treaty, nuclear fuel access is tightly controlled, especially when it involves uranium that could potentially be enriched for weapons use. But Trump's move reopens a door that Seoul has been pressing against since the mid-1990s. South Korea first explored nuclear submarine options during the 1994 nuclear crisis with North Korea. However, technological limitations, lack of US backing, and domestic political uncertainty stalled those early efforts. More than 2 decades later, South Korea now possesses advanced shipbuilding capacity, sophisticated reactor research programs, and a defense sector capable of handling complex naval systems. Retired naval experts in Seoul have stated that basic designs for nuclear-powered submarines, likely vessels weighing around 5,000 tons, have already been drawn up. According to South Korea's defense minister, the assembly of a nuclear reactor suitable for submarine propulsion has reached a meaningful stage of development, suggesting that the country could feasibly deploy its first nuclear submarine within the next decade. Military analysts estimate that South Korea would require at least 4 such vessels to maintain effective regional patrol cycles and ensure rapid response capabilities in the event of maritime escalation. Nuclear-powered submarines offer enormous advantages. Unlike diesel-electric models, which must surface or snorkel periodically to recharge batteries, nuclear submarines can remain submerged for months, travel at higher sustained speeds, and operate deep in the Pacific Ocean. These qualities make them exceptionally difficult to track or counter. In the context of the Korean Peninsula, where North Korea's SLBM program is emerging as a key threat, such capabilities could provide South Korea with a decisive edge in surveillance and deterrence. Not everyone in the region views this development favorably. China, which already monitors South Korean and Japanese naval activity with intense scrutiny, has so far responded with restraint. But analysts at US-based think tanks believe Beijing's muted reaction will likely harden once construction begins. South Korea has attempted to reassure China by framing its program as strictly defensive, emphasizing that its purpose is to deter North Korean aggression rather than alter the regional balance of power. President Lee Jae-myung personally conveyed this message to China's president during a meeting last month, underscoring Seoul's desire to prevent diplomatic friction while still advancing its strategic needs. Pyongyang, however, has reacted sharply. North Korean media have warned that Seoul's nuclear submarine ambitions could trigger a cascading effect across Northeast Asia, suggesting that multiple states might feel compelled to pursue similar capabilities. North Korea has long accused South Korea and Japan of inching toward nuclearization, and this announcement has reinforced those accusations in state-run broadcasts. Japan faces a complicated dilemma. Japanese defense planners were reportedly surprised by how openly the United States embraced Seoul's ambitions, as Tokyo had assumed that US support for nuclear propulsion in the region would first be directed toward Japan. While Japan currently operates one of the world's most advanced fleets of diesel-electric submarines, particularly its lithium-ion-powered Taigei-class vessels, nuclear propulsion would allow Japan to expand its operational reach dramatically. Some defense officials in Tokyo have acknowledged that nuclear propulsion is a potential future option, although the government insists no formal studies are underway. Japanese analysts note that nuclear submarines could eventually provide Japan with a credible second strike capability, a sensitive issue that touches on constitutional limits and historical constraints. Behind these developments lies a broader strategic contest. The United States is increasingly focused on countering China's naval expansion. China now has the world's largest navy by number of ships and continues to produce advanced submarines at a rapid pace. The US Navy has described China as its primary pacing threat, the benchmark against which America measures its military readiness. Senior US naval officials recently said that they expect South Korea's future nuclear submarines to play an integral role in a regional deterrence posture aimed at constraining Chinese influence. The United States' position is also influenced by its own evolving partnerships. Australia's 2021 decision to acquire nuclear-powered submarines under the AUKUS Security Pact lowered the political threshold for other allies to pursue similar ambitions. US officials now view expanded submarine cooperation with South Korea as consistent with a broader strategy of distributing advanced capabilities among Indo-Pacific allies. A joint US-South Korean fact sheet released in mid-November confirmed that Washington had agreed to cooperate on sourcing nuclear fuel, a significant shift in policy. American officials described this cooperation as a way to strengthen collective defense responsibilities within the alliance. South Korea's determination is reinforced by the recognition that it has already developed many of the necessary technologies domestically. Its defense ministry has stated that the country continues to acquire and refine technologies related to nuclear submarine construction, and that the process includes a strong focus on safety and regulatory compliance. Officials have emphasized that South Korea has no intention of acquiring nuclear weapons and remains committed to the international non-proliferation system. In political circles, the momentum is viewed as irreversible. Former diplomats who previously worked on nuclear negotiations have described the situation as a moving train, one that may still require additional approvals and technical milestones, but is clearly advancing down the track. For many in Seoul, the partnership with Washington on nuclear propulsion marks a long-awaited step toward greater strategic autonomy, enhanced deterrence, and a more balanced distribution of regional defense burdens. As the geopolitical currents of East Asia grow increasingly turbulent, South Korea's nuclear submarine program now stands as one of the most consequential military developments in the region. Whether it stabilizes the Korean peninsula or accelerates a broader arms race remains an open question, but the strategic landscape has already shifted.